Hey again, guys. We're back again, and we're going to do another spoiler for Gloomhaven. So I'm pretty excited, actually. I've got this new camera. I'm hoping, well, it's not new. It's actually, I'm on a budget. I don't have a lot of money. It's a used camera, but it might be better than what I had before. I'm hoping this is going to at least improve in some of the video that I've been doing. So either way, moving forward, I figured what better way to celebrate than to do another spoiler for Gloomhaven. And we're going to paint a new character. It's one of the characters that one of the guys is playing right now. And it's kind of like one he was playing before, just with a little bit more, some difference to it. Anyway, very, very cool. And that is this guy. Well, gal. This girl. Another Inox, but this is the Beserker instead of the Warrior. And you have to play it to see. She is crazy. Really, apparently a little more interesting to play. Definitely different than the other Inox. It looks like she's going to be pretty cool to paint. She's got these horns just like the Inox Warrior had. She's got some pretty interesting like axes that she has. And to a lot of it, she's very similar to the Warrior, right? So similar colors, maybe. Same thing when it comes to the face. Either way, why don't we just get started doing it? The Inox Beserker. So, like always, I'm going to go to my library here. Let's do a little bit of Death World Forest. So we're going to do the base first. So again, I just like to get the base done because I end up forgetting to do it afterwards, and then it's kind of a pain. So I'll just zoom back a little bit here. Just best to get it over with. I'll put it down now. That way I can't forget. There we go. Simple as that. That looks good. We're going to use this first. And we're just going to do, I think, her skirt and her boots with this, because we're going to get that dark layer down first. Alright. Alright, let's let's get back to this here. So again, I'm not too worried if I get anything on her in places that it's not supposed to, because it's going to be easy to paint over anyway with the type of colors that we're going to use for her. Apparently this comes right up. Bark.
So I like using bark sometimes when it comes to the handles of some of these things. Now sometimes it can be just wrapped in a leather or something like that. I could change that later just by adding a like a leather for another layer. But we're just getting some bases down. And here now I'm going to get most of the gold, the base of the gold down. Like I'm gonna have to add in some black here and there wherever like there's some deep dark areas, like the skulls on her shoulders, which I have to put some, you know, on her face, in her mouth and around her eyes and stuff anyway, so may as well do that now. Let's just get it over with before I put any more gold on there. And get that into the deeper little areas in the sides of her shoulders here. And then, like I said, we'll get her face done there at the same time too. There we go. Now we can go back to doing some more of the gold. So again, just first layer. This I find also again is just a good time to be able to distinguish what's what and where's what. Like where this starts, where her leg starts, where her kneecaps are, where her, you know, where everything kind of is. You know, and then as you go, you'll find, oh, hey, you know, there's actually some leather right there. I could do that a little bit different, right? So it's about more or less getting the basic layers down and then fine tuning after and doing your highlights and your washes. All right, so using a little bit of rust, working on the skin. I think she's going to turn out pretty good. This is just a layer, you know, again, just try to get everything into, get right into those, you know, little edges and detail and stuff like that. And, you know, like, this is where I wish my camera would work better. Like, look at this. And, you know, this is the kind of thing that just ticks me off. If anybody's got some advice, you know, as to how to keep a subject constantly focused, or if there's a particular camera that works the best for that, you know, let me know, right? Because I'm constantly struggling with this. Of course, I also have to remember to keep my subject within the view of the camera. So, but anyway, moving forward. So I'm just going to go ahead and cover pretty much anything that she has in skin. So I'm just doing her face, her neck, and her upper chest area there, and the, you know, then I'll get her legs and whatever she has exposed with her arms. Like she has like some gauntlets or something like that on for armor on her arms, so there's not a whole lot, but she has a bit of exposure on her back too. So I'm gonna try and get all of that at least. So here we go with Golg Fag Brown. Anyway, it's a dry Citadel brown, and it's a little lighter than the stuff I put on there. So this is our first layer of a bit of a dry brush for around her legs and her, skirt and furry, whatever it is, furry stuff that she's wearing. So here we go. Now this is a little bit of a wetter, I guess you could say, dry brush. Like, you can go really dry. You see me put stuff on the back of my hand, so I barely got any on the brush, where I just literally want to highlight the very tips of anything. With this stuff, I'm not doing that. It's kind of like I'm going a little deeper in to get that lighter brown in there, right? But you can still see that darker brown behind it, right? So that's part of the layer, I guess you can say, and that's what we're doing here. Now, it's kind of funny. You see this here. Now, this is an air Vallejo. Usually you would use this in your airbrush, but I like it because it's a very thin, it's already really well thinned out. And again, I just want to use it to kind of like highlight some specific areas. If I use it on my gun, it's just going to kind of like, blah, all over the place. I don't want to do that. I just want to highlight literally the edges, like I'm doing a very very light brushing, and it's a very kind of light color, and it's adding that third layer now, right, of the fur. And you can see that just lightens up the edges. Now we're still gonna do some like a little bit of a dip into some shades afterwards too, which is gonna dull that down. But it's almost like you have to build up with multiple layers to get almost to this lighter color to kind of bring it back down to a duller color. It's if you don't have the layers, it just doesn't seem to look right. I don't know. And this is now, look how lighter that is. How much lighter that is. And this sand or / ivory, I find it's a great color to add into the browns. And there we go. It kind of looks funny, especially look at her face. I haven't done anything with her face yet, right? And you can see I'm just throwing this on there, right? Because like her blade that's in the front, that's gonna get covered anyway. Who cares, right? Let's get that shade in there, and it's gonna look awesome. Everything else you kind of just fill it in afterwards. You can go rough like this over the body and get the majority of what you need done, right? And then you can fill in the rest after, like the blades and the potions and the belts and the, whatever. And then it'll just pop and stand out because everything else looks congruent, from the bottom and the top halves, between the blade and between the belts and whatever, right? So if you got to paint over some stuff, it's not a big deal. So here we go again, now using the mummy's robes, and you can see now this here I've done very, very, very lightly on my brush, and you can see I'm using this wider old crappy brush that I have, right? And I'm literally just trying to highlight those very final little bit of ridges, on all of her clothing and, around her legs and everywhere else and stuff on her body, right? Because this is, again, just brightening her up before the wash down with different shades and whatnot. That's going to really kind of make everything kind of come together. Right? You can see right there, like all of a sudden, wow, it almost looks white. But that's still just the tip. Now once we get the rest, and you know, she's got the gauntlets, she's got everything else in there that I'm going to paint gold. That's going to look good after. Now of course, corpse pale. This is how I'm going to bring up that lighter color to her skin and also to her face. Kind of fill in that darkness from the black that I put on there, right? And just kind of lighten up everything. Her skin isn't really kind of skin, it's more like a fur, really. These seem to be kind of like the Brute, the Beserker, you know, they're the Inox warriors. You know, when you look at all the pictures, it's almost like they have like a fur even over their face and stuff like that. So, you know, kind of sticking to that in a bit, in a way. And using this corpse pale, I think this is going to bring it out to that lighter color, but still be distinguishably different than the fur that she has for her skirt and around her legs and stuff like that. That's actually a darker kind of color, so that's going to look sharp. So just a little bit of plain Jane old white. Now I'm pretty much just using this for her kind of horns, hair, whatever it is that she has going. But I'm also doing a really, really dry brush of it to the face area, just to lighten it up a little bit more, because that's the way it seems to be. So there we are, just finishing off the hair, and that's pretty much the rest of what we need to do for that. Now on to some bright gold. We're going to highlight some of the gold that's already pretty decent on her, and I'm going to bring out her gauntlets and, you know, go back to the regular gold pop gold as well, and just back and forth, you know, highlighting and bringing forth all the gold again that I might have gotten paint over and stuff as I was brushing in the rest of the characters' clothing and skin and everything else. So there's some things I'm not going to bother filming like I usually do, because in all reality, if you wanted to see it, you can go back and watch any of the other previous Gloomhaven characters I've painted. As far as for how I finished the base off with the rocks in the battleground, it's the same on every one of them. So we're just going to focus on finishing up and touching up this character. It's been dragging on, and it seems as though like it's so much more than it really is, just because of the fact that she's got all this fur, and I just wanted to have those layers in place to make sure that she turns out really well. Even with the gold, you know, just trying to make it so that it's not just thrown on, adding a little bit more to it. You know, I think it's just going to make this character turn out that much better. So looking pretty good here, nearing the end, you can tell. Now we're going to start doing some shades. So no oil, it's basically just black wash. It's got a little bit of some brown in there maybe or something too, but it's, you know, just to again bring out some of the detail. I put a little bit into her face. I'm putting a bit into her skin with this. Or not skin, but fur or whatever. Again, just to kind of bring out that detail. Same thing when it comes to the armor. You know, it really helps to be able to see that definition. It fills in the black a little bit more, and the black becomes more black. Now I'm going to move on to finishing up a couple other minor things. So I'm going to use some of that Rhinox hide, and we're going to get that sheath in the front there. Get that painted in. I might go over this with another leather color afterwards just to kind of add to it, but we'll see how it looks. Not bad. Alright. Now. Oh, a little touch up there. She also has this little potion that she has hanging off her side, so I just picked like a not so bright the Jokaro orange, and we're gonna fill that in right there. So I'll have to remember to use some of that art coat on that after to make it look more like glass. And she's starting to really take form here now. So I'm going to do a few more touch-ups. I'm going to just go around and touch up all over little leather straps and do another coat of some earth shade, and we'll see what she looks like. Now here we go. Looking pretty good. The base is done. All the coats are in. We just got to give her a bit of a clear coat there now, just to protect her. And then just make some stuff shine, and I think she's going to look pretty good. You know, you can see a little bit of depth now to that fur. You know, it's not just one color. We had like 3-4 layers into that. You know, and it's worth it in the end because it doesn't look so bland like just one color. So let's go get a clear coat done on her, and let's get to shining her up a bit. I think that'll look great. So here we go. She's done. Well protected. Looks mean. Now it's time to take some of this stuff, like I usually do, and bring some stuff to a shine. She's got like gold armor, right? So we'll make that shine. And of course we want to make that little potion bottle on her side there look a little bit more like glass or something. So very light coat. You know, you don't want to do too much because you just want it to shine. If you do a thick layer, then it's going to make it look more like glass. Right, so here you can see I'm just very lightly just brushing a bit on, you know, and it's just going to make that stuff shine up a bit. You know, same thing with her chest plate here, and then a little bit there, and the little instruments and things she has around her belt. Now here, you'll see, I take a big glob and put it on the end of my brush. And let's get a whole bunch onto that. And then that'll really make that potion bottle look more like glass. we go. Back to shine up the rest of it. And that's pretty much it. So, I hope you like what you see. If you do, of course, smash that like button. You know, leave some comments. And, of course, please subscribe. It would be great to see more people subscribing to the channel. You know, and... you know, and share, like, if you think it's pretty cool, you know, tell other people about it, you know, see if it works for them, you know, if they like the videos too, you know, if there's anything that you'd like to see me do or try, you know, leave a message, leave a comment, check me out on Facebook if you like there too, you can see Basic Painter there, you know, and that's pretty much her right there. She's done. You know, just a couple touch-ups. Anything that's gold, I'm basically just making it shine a bit. And that's gonna make it stand out from the rest of her getup, because it's really kind of like beastly, you know, wardrobe, right? But that's her. That's it. That is the Beserker. I like when you look at her from the one side here. I'll turn her right around. You can see how that potion bottle looks more like glass now. It's very cool. You can see her back and her arms. I think she turned out right well, right there. Look at that. Look, she looks mean. That's it. So we'll see you next time. And don't forget, in Gloomhaven, he's not dead. He's loot.